Today we're making one of my favorites. It's a fried green tomato with pimento cheese and a black-eyed pea salsa. Every time somebody comes into the restaurant for the first time, we love to introduce ourselves with this dish. So we're gonna start right now with the black-eyed pea salsa. Just cut up some beautiful red onions. We're gonna take those. You want them kind of small dice, so when you go to hug your lady, you're not like, hot darn. Today I'm using cherry tomatoes. We're gonna use these and we're gonna cut these up in little, I guess, kind of small wedges. And the black-eyed peas that we have, you wanna take and let them soak. I let mine soak in vegetable stock overnight. If you don't wanna do that, then the canned ones are just fine. We're gonna have a little Southwestern kick in here with cilantro and jalapenos, but then you know we can't leave the Louisiana out of it, so I'm bringing in a little bit of Cajun spice and a little cayenne pepper. So we have our red onions and our tomatoes in here. We're gonna take our black-eyed peas, mix those in there, very simply. These are some chopped jalapenos. I love jalapenos, so I'm gonna put a couple little extra in there. This is chopped fresh cilantro, toasted oregano. This is a Creole seasoning, so I'm using just a little bit of that. You gotta be careful because it is a little salty. It has some salt in it. There's that cayenne pepper. I'm gonna use about, whatever that was. And this is cumin. I love cumin. Use a little extra of that. And then, fresh lime. It's gonna give it an acidic punch. I just like to squeeze it in there. I'm gonna use a half a lime. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt and pepper. I usually season my food twice, once at the beginning and once at the end. You can always add, you never can take away, you know what I'm saying? Now what we're gonna do is mix it up. So once you have it mixed up really nicely, I kind of smush it a little bit. Open up the black-eyed pea, kind of open up the tomatoes a little bit, and then we're gonna just finish it off with a little extra virgin olive oil. Gotta taste it, make sure we correct the seasonings. It is amazing, perfect. We're moving on to the pimento cheese. First of all, I want to get this room temperature. We use cream cheese in here. It gives us a really cool creamy texture to the pimento cheese, which I love. I'm gonna smash it a little bit. We got this kind of room temperature and kind of mushed down. I like to use fancy shredded cheddar cheese. You just want to mix this together, kind of smush it. So we got it kind of smashed in. We took roasted red peppers. You can use the canned red peppers if you want to cut a little high durn. We're gonna go ahead and mix the green onions. This is probably about 2 stalks of green onions, chopped small. You can use chives, and then mayo. So we're just gonna mix a little mayo. Again, season it, a little salt, a little fresh cracked black pepper. All right, so now that we've got the pimento cheese ready, and we've also got the black-eyed pea salsa ready, it's on to the main event, which is the fried green tomato. Green tomatoes, just in case you don't know, are tomatoes that are pulled off the vine early. I like to cut them a little bit thicker because when they cook, we don't want them to get too soft. We're gonna just go through the 3 breading process. We're using a Stone cornmeal, Georgia buttermilk. If you can find some local buttermilk, you can't beat it. And then all-purpose flour. I always season everything, so I'm gonna season all 3 of them. Cracked black pepper. I use kosher salt. 3 eggs I've whisked up. We're gonna put that in the buttermilk. Cajun seasoning, all 3 of them. Very, very simple. Most of you probably done it. Dry, wet, dry. So dry, we're just gonna take the tomato into the flour, into the wet, switch hands, make sure it's good. That buttermilk's right on the outside. And then back into the dry. That way number one, your tomato doesn't have a lot of lumps. Also, who wants to have clumpy batter fingers when you have guests over? You're like, you know. Now it's time to go fry, baby. I'm gonna go wash my hands, meet you at the fryer. Okay guys, so we've got our fried green tomatoes ready to go. 350-degree fryer. I'm just gonna take them, you can put them in the fryer basket. I like to drop them in myself. We just take them and we put them in and let them flow behind you, not in front of you, so the splatter doesn't get you. So we're just gonna put them right in the fryer. 4.5 to 6 minutes till they're really good and crispy. And then we're gonna let them drain for a minute and then we're gonna plate up, man. Once they start getting done, they rise to the top. Pull these out and take them, let them drain. I'm gonna finish them with just a little bit of salt. We got to plate these up pretty quickly so they stay warm and get out to the customers hot. I put a little pimento cheese down at the bottom to stop the fried green tomatoes from sliding all over the place. Little chef secret, little tip for you. Pimento cheese right on top. What that's gonna do is it's gonna melt from that hot green tomato. Ain't that right, Frankie?
Right.
You ain't shy, are you? Don't be shy with the pimento cheese, brah. You heard me? Some of that black-eyed pea salsa. Woo! It's been marinated. Put that right over the top. You make this at home for your guests, blow them away. This is micro basil. This is a little bit of freshness that we like to add to the top of it. Finish it off with a little bit of olive oil. Make sure those greens are good to go. Fried green tomatoes, pimento cheese, black-eyed pea salsa. How you doing?